Welcome to One-on-One with Walt Lascos. In this brief podcast, you'll learn how to most effectively address senior financial exploitation. Now, here's Walt.
Standing out in the community, like a beacon in the darkness, just doesn't happen on its own for any organization. There's a lot of work, sweat, and sacrifice involved, and much of that finds its origins in public relations. As my listeners can attest, I typically focus my podcasts on ways to prevent older adults from becoming victims of financial scams and fraud. Well, let me just say, a good 90% of being an effective resource in educating the public about scams or convincing someone who is being manipulated by a con artist that they are being scammed comes down to trust. How consumers, all your credit union members, view and experience you is through your corporate brand, influenced and comprised of all your various touchpoints. Now, as a reminder, a touchpoint refers to any interaction or point of contact between a brand and a consumer throughout the customer's journey. Touchpoints can occur before, during, or after a purchase and influence the consumer's perception of the brand. It's very important to know that all touchpoints create, sustain, and influence your corporate brand. And most important, among all those touchpoints is how they manifest and convey your organization's values and business principles, and how they contribute to an environment of trust. And since it's the job of public relations to ensure and foster a healthy and dynamic and positive brand experience, its initial responsibility is to communicate and fuel an understanding of those values and business principles. So you see, in my view, public relations sets the table, making it an inviting, informative, and trusting environment, conducive for marketing to discern the palates of those at the table, and then using its products and services, cater to the needs of those at the table in the sales process. Of course, there are those who will take exception to this distinction between PR and marketing because, honestly, this issue has been debated for years. Is PR a subset of marketing, or is it a distinct and standalone discipline? Well, perhaps I can help to bring this distinction into a clearer focus. As a starting point, I did some digging and in the process posed this question to ChatGPT. Do the values of a business and its show of community support have an influence on the purchasing decisions of consumers today? The response? Yes. The values of a business and its support for the community significantly influence consumer purchasing decisions today. People are increasingly looking for brands that align with their personal beliefs, ethical standards, and social concerns. Consider brand loyalty and trust. Those companies that actively support their communities, engage in ethical practices, and promote sustainability tend to build stronger relationships with their customers. Consumers are more likely to remain loyal to brands that demonstrate integrity and social responsibility. Another aspect to consider is consumer expectations. Many consumers, especially millennials and Gen Z, expect businesses to take a stand on social issues, support local communities, and operate sustainably. They prefer to buy from companies that reflect those values. Social media's influence is yet another area. In today's digital age, consumers are more aware of a company's values through social media and online platforms. Positive or negative public perception can quickly spread, influencing purchasing decisions. And finally, there are studies showing that many consumers are willing to pay extra for products from companies that demonstrate strong social responsibility, sustainability, and ethical labor practices. Okay, now what about the data to support this thesis that values and community support influence purchasing decisions? Well, an April 2022 Harris poll found that a significant 82% of shoppers prefer brands whose values align with their own. Notably, it found that 75% have parted ways with a brand over a conflict in values. According to a September 2024 Statista survey, approximately 62% of U.S. adults agreed that they tend to buy brands reflecting their personal values. What's the lesson here? Values and principles do matter, and how they are perceived and experienced at your credit union matters, and why public relations should be valued as an important discipline at your credit union distinct from marketing also matters. And referring back to my opening statements, creating and maintaining an environment of trust matters when it comes to scam and fraud prevention. If credit unions are really committed to safeguarding their older adult members from becoming scam victims, it's imperative to do all that's possible to nourish and help flourish the bonds of trust between their members and the credit union. Only then can they be successful in persuading a member to realize they are being scammed. Then, and only then, will we know the kind of table your credit union sets for your members and all within your community. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.
If you've enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to follow One-on-One with Walt Lascos wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to send comments to walt@lascoscommunications.com. And to learn more about how you might support the prevention of elder financial scams, visit lascoscommunications.com.